Hey guys, Reuben on the Mentor, and today I'm going to review BLOQ by Sample Magic and show you a walkthrough of BLOQ and how it sounds as a piece right here. Now, big thanks to Sample Magic for allowing me to use BLOQ in my DAW to really test and see its power when it's come to composing and recording with it. So BLOQ is basically a vintage synth and also a drum machine that is made for Contact. So you really need Contact 5 to use BLOQ in your DAW. But if you don't have Contact 5, what you can do is you can always use the synth racks in Ableton or even the EXS24 sampler in Logic. So BLOQ comes as a synth like this one here, you can my screen, and also as a drum machine, which you can choose to only buy one of those, either the drum machine or the synth, or get it all in one pack. Alright, so I have both here installed on my computer, and I'm running on Cubase 7 with Contact 5. So I'm going to show you how to load up BLOQ as it is. Alright, so to load up BLOQ, basically is right click, add an instrument track on your sequencer, go to Native Instruments and pick Contact 5. Alright, and BLOQ does not come as a library, so you can choose a library from your selection here. What you have to do is go into Files, and then go into the files for BLOQ for Contact 5, wherever you put them. After you install them, then basically drag the synth or the drum version into your sampler, and it loads up like that. So the thing about BLOQ is, unlike many other soft synths out there in the market that tries to emulate these classical synthesizers and drum machines, BLOQ is actually a sampler, which means the sounds you hear are actually all sampled and recorded straight from the original synthesizers and drum machines alone. So you're getting the real deal. So when there's a lot of synthesizers built into the synth version of BLOQ, and those are like the Jupiters, the Nord keyboards, the Prophets, and the Yamaha DX8s, and a lot of other synthesizers that are built in there, the classic synthesizers. So if you want to go for the full list of synthesizers, I've placed down a link down here below. So go ahead and check out the link to see the full review on BLOQ and to see which synths are sampled in BLOQ and also which drum machines are sampled in BLOQ. You can see that we have a lot of samples in here. You can try that. So I'm going to go through a few. And you can see the parameter changes here. So, I'm not going to go through all the parameters here with you today, but I'm just going to highlight a few things that I like and dislike about it. And then we're going to go straight into the piece right here, all right? So the thing I like about BLOQ is that, well, it has all the fundamentals like the waveforms controls, the filters, the waveform envelopes, and the LFOs and whatnot, right? And, down here we have the equalizers, which is really, really useful for sculpting your sound and to change how the sound will sound like. So if you want more bass, you can always increase that. If you want to control the dynamics of your sound, you can always turn on the compressor by clicking on the button right there, and to put in some drive or warm, make it sound thicker or whatever you want it to be. Now, what I really like about it is it has also a effects built in, meaning that you can always put phasing, chorus, stereo spread, delay, and reverb to your sound, which is really interesting. And the thing about it is you can always go to the FX tab right here and basically change all the parameters of the effects. So you can control your effects within BLOQ as well. So that's really cool. You don't need any extra plugins to really run BLOQ, any effect plugins, right? To really run BLOQ together with. So you can always use everything right from the scene itself. Now there's also a sequencer tab. This is really useful for when you use scenes which comes with sequencers like the chords sequencers. I'm going to play one for you. So you can change the notes here. Let me just try pulling some crazy things around, changing the notes and probably changing the volumes a bit. So you can really program this to be anything that you want. And down here we have again the prerequisites where you can change the rate of the sequencer. This how free it is from the tempo, the accent, the swing, and whatnot here. Now I do find the interface to be a bit small for my eyes, and it's really, really small. Again, like for example, this dials right here are looking really small at F01, but after a few users, you get used to it anyway, and you can basically change that. So it's a bit small, right? But I still find it okay. And another thing I do not like about it is that it lacks a randomizer button. Like many other soft synths out there, there's always a randomizer button to click around, and then you change all the fundamentals here to sort of creative sounds that you haven't heard before in your life. So I think BLOQ lacks a randomizer button, which it's okay anyway. Alright, so I'm going to show you the drum machines right now. So drum machines, I'm just going to load up a simple one. Okay, so same thing, add an instrument, go to Native Instruments, Contact 5, add it up as a sampler, go into drums and drag it on the sampler. And there you go. Drums will be loaded. And the drum looks like this, right? And this is really nice as well because the drums has also effects, which are really, really helpful. So main, sequencer, and effects. So the sequencer, allows you to create up to 8 patterns, which means you can always trigger the patterns by pressing this red one here, the C key here, and it goes, right? And to change the sequence, basically just change the key on your keyboard, or your MIDI controller. There you go. And then we have pattern for 5, 6, 7, and 8 for you to basically create your own pattern. Again, it's a bit small to see right here, but it's okay. You get used to it after a while. All right. Okay, so to just stop the trigger pattern here, you just have to click on the C, or just hit on C on your MIDI controller. So that's the drums, and you can play it as also a single hit drum, which means you can go down here and play the ones out here, which is really cool as well. So I find the sounds to be really great. It sounds good. The drum sounds great. It sounds tight, and I particularly love the the 808s in these drum sets, which you can change by choosing the presets right here. So a lot of presets right there. 808 is here. All right, so you don't have to painfully create the 808 kick on your own anymore, like I shown you in a tutorial before. But with BLOQ, you get everything right straight in your hands. The real thing, the real deal itself, the real sounds from the real drum machines. Alright, so enough for showing you the insides of the scene and the insides of the drum machine. What I really want to show you is, I'm sure you want to know also how BLOQ sounds as a piece. So here I have a short little piece which I, kind of like arranged down from the time I got BLOQ for the first time, right? So I mainly use BLOQ Synth in most of the tracks right here. So you need to hear a lot of BLOQ, which I will, periodically solo so you can hear how it sounds like. Now, when I first got BLOQ for the first time, I find BLOQ to be really, old school sounding, right? Because it's a classical synth and a vintage synth, and also a vintage drum machine. And it quickly reminded me of a movie called Turbo Kid, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, so probably this piece is an inspiration from that, from the music in that film. So here goes anyway. So this is how BLOQ sounds like as a piece. Let's go.